Hello, and welcome to another episode of Esoteric Nation. In this episode, we're going to talk about music, creativity, spirituality, and mental illnesses. These types of episodes are dedicated to all my creative individuals. Musicians, artists, creative, content creators, writers, authors, anyone that has an artistic, creative impulse. You guys may not know it, but you are the chosen ones. And through your journey of rediscovering your craft, not only do you discover something new to create, but you also discover something new about yourself. So in a sense, the act of creativity is also a self-discovery quest of potential hidden capacities and skills that are waiting to be nurtured and developed and be brought forth to manifestation. So the act of creativity is not just for personal amusement and entertainment, but it is a form of self-exploration. And it is an attempt to extend the limits and boundaries of our skills and capacities, challenging ourselves to create ourselves anew. And in this process of rediscovering our craft and rediscovering ourselves, we are able to find a new outlook in our artistic expressions, which will influence the medium or the format in which we present our ideas, whether it's through musical formats or works of literature. It's a well-known fact that most artists deal with a lot of mental and psychological issues. Some would even say that it's the source of their inspiration. So it's very common for an artist to be, crazy, right? But there is a reason, a purpose that these artists develop the courage to present themselves in their most vulnerable states in order to deliver a message that if you overcome your limits and your fears, something new arises. The 20th century psychiatrist Henry Ellenberger presented the idea that in many instances, an illness serves as an integral stage in the creative process. In other words, for fresh creativity to arise, the artist must overcome mental obstacles. It seems a bit unfair that most creative individuals have to suffer for the fruits of their craft, while their audience and fan base simply gets to enjoy the results without paying the psychological toll. However, at some point in all our lives, regardless whether one is a creative individual or non-creative, we eventually are all summoned to tackle our own inner personal issues and overcome our limitations. So whether this gets expressed through craft, through creativity, to the arts, or simply overcoming the challenges of life itself and manifesting our newfound insight and worldview in our everyday affairs. So this process of regenerating ourselves is not just for the creative types, but for everyone. There is a subliminal message which every artist tries to get across to their audience, that they too must find a method to fight their own inner demons and dragons. This process is a process that everyone must go through. In a sense, an artist serves like a prophet, hinting and warning their audience that trials and tribulations are waiting ahead. But have no fear, for the artist on stage serves as proof that there is a way to overcome these limitations, that mental issues shouldn't be barriers, but challenges to overcome. And if we want to move forward in our life, whether you are a simple, ordinary being or practicing a craft, the way forward is by overcoming our limitations, by fighting the inner demons. One captures the inner gold, the newfound vision, creativity, and inspiration. So the aim of every artist is to create something new, something which they haven't done before, and something that hopefully hasn't been done within the genre. And the only way to do that is to overcome our own limitations. So our mind has like these blocks that prevents us from, seeing what is beyond. And we must slowly, gradually, and patiently, tear down at these walls so that we can eventually see through the other side. So in order to create something new, something old must dissolve. There must first be chaos for something new to come into form. Every creative individual knows this process very well, that one must overcome personal mental challenges for the fruits of our labor to arise. Whether someone is a creative individual in music, whether it's creating an album or a song or a single piece of work, or in the work of literature, the process is the same. One must go on a quest to discover something new and bring it back to what, in spiritual terms, we call the tribe, or in pop cultural terms, the fan base. So in every journey, there is danger and chaos, but that's how the treasure is discovered. That's part of the creative process. So now we enter this idea of the liminal stage, the stage between a previous known world and the new world. A good way to conceptualize this idea or this process is to see it as a three-stage process. Stage one is the previously known territory, our old habits, our old ways of doing things, the things that we've done repeatedly, which are no longer of interest. Since a true artist wants to create new things, they must find a way to rediscover their craft. This is when they enter the second stage, the liminal stage, where everything falls apart. We can imagine this as going down a deep, dark cave, encountering new foreign energies, which present themselves as challenges to overcome. If the creative individual figures out a way to defeat these hostile forces, these inner forces, then a treasure is released. In science, it is said that energy is never created nor destroyed. It simply transforms from one state to another. The liminal stage is where the process of transformation takes place. And upon overcoming the mental obstacles, which often seem like mental illnesses, we discover the inner demons that one battles eventually are alchemically transformed into our inner treasure, which comes as new insights, ideas, concepts, which inspire the creative process. This liminal stage is the in-between, the link between the old world and the new world, the bridge between our old habits and our new manifested discoveries. So far, we've looked at the act of transformation in the creative process. But this three-stage process also occurs in other areas in life. It's not just for the creative people, the musicians or creative writers. It occurs for everyday, common people as well. In the book, The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, one of music industry's most creative music producers, he establishes in the first chapter that everyone is a creator. Everyone. Also, in Eastern Buddhist philosophy, which Rick Rubin seems to be inspired by, the teachings of Buddhism establishes that everyone is a co-creator. Tolkien, who is considered one of 20th century's greatest geniuses, literary geniuses, he presents this idea that everyone is a sub-creator. So the pattern that keeps repeating across different schools of thought is that everyone plays a creative role in how we shape our world, our reality. So this process of creativity is not just for the creative geniuses, for those with skills or talent, right? It's for everybody. So we all contribute to the reality in which we live in. For example, if you walk into a live musical performance at a venue, a concert, or an arena, it's not just the artist on stage that is creating the magic. The magic also arises from the audience. The fan base, contributes just as much to the live enchantment as the performance on stage. Some bands even consider their fan base as the sixth member of the band, the invisible member of the band. The audience also influences the direction of the creative process of the band just as much as the inner circle. So, in conclusion, we can see that creativity comes at a cost. Every act of creation arises from an act of destruction or desolation. The artists must fall apart and reconstruct themselves anew, thereby rediscovering their craft and their identity and their relationship to the world. The purpose of creating art is to venture on a journey of self-discovery, to discover the hidden potential and bring it back to what spiritual communities call the tribe, to bring it into manifestation. And this requires courage and strength to endure the process. And for those who make it to the other side, a new reality appears.